So first about myself, my name is TJ Hyland. I've been at Payoneer for just a couple months now, but we're super familiar with the whole industry of online selling and selling on Amazon and e-commerce and that whole thing. Payoneer, at its core, is an international payments company. We help people move money around the world. So whether that's, we have a couple variety of products, but the main one that a lot of our online sellers use us for is our global payment solution. So basically the currency accounts that we provide to help people receive sales from their overseas marketplaces and then repatriate those earnings back at better exchange rates. A couple other things that we do is we help people make payments out of those accounts in those local currencies, whether you have suppliers overseas, in other currencies you want to pay. And then the other one that's quite big is if you have any virtual assistants, in the Ukraine or the Philippines is super popular. Helping make those payments is something we do super well. And then we have one new product that I was going to mention and launch, which we are launching in the next couple weeks or days or so. But it's called Capital Advance. And essentially, it's a new product to help not only international sellers, but also domestic sellers with a working capital solution.
Nice. So as we have people rolling in here, by the way, if you guys are listening in, please obviously make sure to add any comments that you guys are having. I'll make sure that we approach them while we're here. But so Ty, so I guess the main product that everyone's using for the most case, at least right now, are the ones that are utilizing the overseas payment plans, conversion rates. Do you know when is the best time to actually, withdraw some of that money from wherever you guys have it, or to actually, based on different conversion rates at certain times?
No one knows because no one knows where the exchange rates are going. Obviously, there's
I don't know what happened there.
If we knew where the exchange rates are going, we would benefit off them way more, and you'd probably be on an island somewhere, not necessarily having this conversation right now. But there's no way to know which way the markets are going, especially in this time. It's so volatile. In the past, you could say that the market was moving or dependent on economic data that came out, or just some low level political conversations. But with President Trump and Twitter and Brexit and trade wars in China, every single day, no one really knows what's going to happen. Dollar can go up, dollar goes down. The stock market is super volatile as well. So the foreign exchange is just essentially another market that people monitor, where the most of our sellers are generally selling in Europe. So UK, euros, even Canadian dollar back to US dollar, hasn't been super volatile. Well, not at least as volatile since the Brexit decision 2 or 3 years ago. But, one of my clients once said to me, they were wondering whether they should, think about moving their money or holding it or waiting for a best rate. And I said, well, what's your plan? What do you think's best? And they said, we kind of just take the law of averages. So every couple of days or every couple of weeks, whenever the funds come in, we'll say, we'll transfer it now. And it may be the high of the month, it may be the low of the month, but, they know next time it might get higher. The problem is with holding your funds and hoping for a better rate, it can absolutely go the other way and end up costing you.
Yeah.
With a lot of resellers where your margins are so small, the difference on the foreign exchange could essentially affect your profit. So, if you can take the funds when you're going to generate a profit and not get too greedy off it, then it usually works out.
Yeah. I also know that some sellers, they'll leave money overseas, and if they have a vendor out there that they need to pay, they can utilize Payoneer to pay the vendor, because in some cases, depending on the exchange rate, they may invoice the seller in whichever dollar it is. So let's say, it's euro, we're going to invoice you in euros. And if you request them to, or I'm sorry, we're going to invoice you in US. And if you take it, they may have milked in an exchange rate. They may have just assumed something. So you can even request for them to invoice you as a euro so that you can actually bill them that way and pay them through Payoneer. So you can actually save a little money that way. Do you find that like a lot of your sellers are actually using it like that?
Absolutely. More than, just the simplicity, it just makes things easier. And, you have euros in your account, you're looking to pay a European company, super easy, just go euro. The better example there is paying VAT or any sort of taxes internationally.
Yeah.
They're not going to invoice you in a different currency. They're going to invoice you in their local currency. So, the ability to pay them in local currency is going to save you on the exchange rate, going to save you on sending an international bank wire or, whatever method your bank would want to do. If you have these foreign currencies in these accounts, you can transfer a majority back. But say you have to pay, 1,000 every quarter or whatever it happens to be, you can hold that amount and say, okay, by, end of Q1, I'm going to pay this. I'll hold this here and pay it out. So one, I'm VAT compliant, which is huge nowadays. Don't, miss any payments or anything like that, or aren't late.
The new product you mentioned on helping sellers with capital and all that, is that out yet, or is that something that's coming out?
It is technically live. We can do it. It's just not up on the website yet. We haven't made our big marketing push around it, but it's totally live. So helping sellers, it's usually right now based off Amazon sales. So based through the Amazon API, we basically dive in and take a look at your sales history and your payment history over the previous 6 months or so. You have to be selling for about 6 months. But from there, we can take a look and tell you what we would offer you. And what's good is I personally think that it's a super great price. It's 1.25%, which is super affordable, I think.
Yeah, nice. So how does that compare to the program that Amazon currently offers?
To be honest, I'm not super familiar with Amazon's lending product.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's exactly that. It's a lending product. So
yeah.
I believe that the fee that they charge is a little higher. Whereas ours is basically a working capital. We call it capital advance. How it works is, say you needed, we were willing to give you $10,000, right? Based off your sales, we could say, we'll give you $10,000. Right now it's set for a 30-day period. That's soon to expand to 60 and 90, hopefully. But, you have until that 30th day to pay your funds back. So how I look at it is it's a huge opportunity for both resellers and private label sellers who resellers, cash is king there, right? You need more money to buy more product, to sell more product, turnover is basically what they're looking at. And then private label, to launch a new line or, if you sell pots and now you want to sell a frying pan, it's going to take some time and some money that maybe you don't necessarily have yet to launch that. But you have some sales history that proves that you know what you're doing. You're a proven seller. You can get it going. We're happy to help sellers grow.
Okay. So what is it that you guys tend to find, like Payoneer tends to be, there's this one thing that we offer that everyone seems to not realize, or like, what is it that usually people go, oh, wow, that's a nice additive that I didn't know about?
About Payoneer?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Oh.
So,
no worries.
I think that people don't realize how much we can do and how many currencies we can pay into. Typically, we can receive funds in, just probably a handful of countries that Amazon is in, whether that's in Europe, Canada, China, Australia, India as well. People don't realize that we can also have our other side of the business, that we can pay out into over 200 countries.
Oh, wow.
Or 200, countries. So I think that's a huge part when it comes to paying suppliers or paying virtual assistants. Like a large number of our sellers use us to pay their virtual assistants overseas, because sending funds into the Philippines is not always the easiest. A lot of times, it comes back to our conversation earlier. A lot of times they'll just say, okay, send me US dollars because that's easier for you, and they'll take the dollars, but not necessarily that they're going to charge you up anything. But if you can send them Filipino pesos and make it super easy for them to receive that directly into their account, no additional fees by their own bank, I think they're going to be a little more appreciative of that.
Yeah. What, oh man. So there's a question I wanted to ask you. Oh, of course. So this is, I didn't even think about this. This is our first one for 2019. So first of all, Happy New Year.
Yeah, you too.
What is it you guys are expecting for 2019? Anything like in the industry that you guys have started to see that you're expecting a decent shift in?
So we are obviously like a global payments company, but just following along the trends that a lot of these marketplaces are making, specifically Amazon. Amazon's making such a huge push to go global, helping domestic sellers expand internationally. Amazon's uniquely now trying to work directly with Chinese sellers to help them grow globally. You know, a lot of them, Chinese sellers, will just go directly to the US, but you know, they want to help them, and everyone really, but expand to Europe, expand to India. Like that's going to be a huge focus for Amazon in 2019. And, you know, it's going to be a big focus for us too. You know, just growth, right? So everyone, you know, whether you're just starting out as new product line or whatever, you need to get from A to B, you need to grow. But even if you're an established brand, if you're a multi-million-dollar seller, you know, why not double your sales? Why not triple your sales? So growing globally is a huge opportunity to do that.
Yeah, we've kind of noticed the same thing. Amazon's obviously making it easier and easier for people domestically to be able to just go to, you know, straight into Europe or straight into India or Australia or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's definitely interesting to see how some of these sellers are really starting to pivot to make their products more globally accessible and appropriate for each culture. And it's really interesting to see like where everything's going to end up going over the next couple of years on, like, if you launch a product, do you need to launch something that you know is also going to be perceived in the UK and in India and China? And like, it's going to be interesting to see if Amazon can bring all of the cultures together.
It's kind of crazy because they have, in a sense, like, whereas 10 years ago, Amazon was nothing in China, nothing in India, nothing in Australia, minimal in Canada and even Europe. And now it's for other reasons, but it's a global brand with global notoriety, which provides a huge platform for, you know, what could be just a mom and pop shop in Ohio to sell into China. Like that wouldn't have happened. And, you know, just the progress you've made, even Amazon, but all the whole industry in the last 2 years has been incredible.
Yeah. So Ty, love to make these, you know, short and sweet, straight to the point, so I don't waste a lot of your Friday. Really appreciate you doing this with us. Mind giving us some closing statements to let everyone know how they can find out more about Payoneer?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can obviously find details about Payoneer at Payoneer.com. It's a global company, so no matter what site you're on, you'll find some local details to speak to someone if you wish. Absolutely reach out to me. My email is tjhy at Payoneer.com. So that's TJHY, just 4 letters, at Payoneer.com. Happy to speak to anyone that has questions regarding the working capital product, our capital advance product, since that isn't on our website yet. I think it's a huge opportunity to, you know, start 2019 off rolling so that, you know, when holiday sales do come around, you have your product, you have your inventory, you're ready to go, because you can't start planning too soon.
Yeah, and I actually have a couple of people I may have to introduce you to now that you guys are offering that too. So I'll stay in touch. I'll be off camera. Everyone that joined us today, really appreciate it. Obviously, we do these every Friday, so feel free to join us next Friday. And we'll put these up on our YouTube and our blog and all that stuff. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to either myself or Ty. But much appreciated, Ty. Really appreciate it. I will talk to you soon, and enjoy your Friday.
No problem, guys. Have a good weekend. Thank you.
Have a good one. Bye.